attacked by robbers.
Nonsense, we've had very good time. How do you do, man?
Your coming just at this time is the greatest of comforts, and we are very pleased to hear what you tell us about the latest fashions for long sleeves.
Now, I do not blame Jane, because she would have got Mr. Bingley if she could.
Oh, sister, when I think about Lizzy, it is very hard to think she could have been Mr. Collins's wife by now.
Le ha fatto la dichiarazione in questa stanza, lei l'ha rifiutato.
Oh, those Lucases are such artful people indeed. They'll want what they can get.
It makes me very nervous and poorly, sister, to be so thwarted in my own family.
These things happen so often. A young man, such as you describe Mr. Bingley to me, falls in love with a pretty girl for a few weeks. And when accident separates them, he so easily forgets her.
But it was no accident, it was design. It's not very often that a young man of an independent fortune is persuaded to think no more of a girl with whom he was violently in love but a few days before.
Violently in love? That is a phrase as often applied to feelings which arise from half an hour's acquaintance as from a real, strong attachment. Pray, how violent was Mr. Bingley's love?
I never saw a more promising inclination. He had grown quite inattentive to other people. And is not general incivility the very essence of love?
Lizzy.
Poor Jane. I'm so sorry for her. Oh, it had better have happened to you, Lizzy. You would have laughed yourself out of it sooner. Do you think Jane could be prevailed upon to come back to London with us? A change of scene might be of service, and perhaps a little relief from home would be as useful as anything.
But not in any hope of meeting the young man.
Aunt Gardiner lives in so different a part of town. Well, her connections are very different, as to make it improbable that they should meet at all. Mr. Bingley is at present in the custody of Mr. Darcy, who may perhaps have heard of Gracechurch Street, but would hardly think a month's ablutions enough to cleanse himself from its impurities. And Mr. Bingley never stirs without Mr. Darcy.
So much the better. I hope they will not meet at all. But does not Jane correspond with his sister? She cannot help but come. She will drop the acquaintance entirely.
May I present Mr. Wickham to you, Aunt? I understand you come from Derbyshire, Mr. Wickham.
Indeed I do, ma'am. Do you know the country?
Oh, very well. I spent some of the happiest years of my life at Lambton.
But that is not 5 miles from where I grew up, at Pemberley.
Pemberley? Surely Pemberley is the most handsome house in Derbyshire, and consequently in the whole world.
I see you take my view of things, ma'am. And are you acquainted with the family?
No, not at all.
I had the good fortune to be the protégé of old Mr. Darcy. He was the very best of men, Mrs. Gardiner. I wish you could have known him.